Welcome to the Breakfast Brew, your second cup video cast. Holy cow, you can see them.
All right, thanks, Stolf. Here we are, the Breakfast Brew, your second cup with Matt and Ange, and our special guest today, I guess you could give him credit as the discoverer of the Breakfast Brew, right? Or the original mastermind behind putting two genius talents together.
Hey!
Wait, I thought we were talking about you two.
We are. We're the talent.
Am I on the wrong Zoom?
Nice.
So Angie's husband, Mike, of course, and he was the GM and everything at the radio station. We got to do the show, and actually, you know, we talked for many years about that. To be able to create all that, there's something about that. No matter what happened afterwards or before that or anything, it leads up to something. And not many people in their lives can get to a point where they get to achieve a dream. And right. we were able to do that. I mean, doing the show together was an absolute dream. It was an absolute wonder. And it's so hard in our lifetime, and it doesn't matter if it's a small market or a big market or any other market, for people sometimes to just give talent a chance.
Right.
To do something special. And I think we were very lucky in that sense, is that Mike had the vision and was able to make it work, because one, you have to have the vision, and two, then you got to make it work financially for the rest of the business for us to be able to do what we did. So it takes a lot of finagling, and we did that.
Yeah. And he really did. And, you know, you gotta, you know, let people know he had to really market us hard.
Yeah.
Like he had to really sell people on the idea of these two complete buffoons taking over a radio show for 3 or 4 hours, whatever we did in the morning.
Yeah.
And, you know, Mike really hit it hard, promotional pictures, and had a what do you want to call it? Like a symbol created.
Logo.
Logo. Yeah. They call those logos.
Thank you. And, you know, put them on. Thank you for making me feel like a jerk. Like I need that. Put it on, you know, if I remember correctly, it was on t-shirts and coffee mugs that you and I both still have. And, you know, really worked at it hard to get us going. And then I think we had a really good presence already before we even started. People were excited for it.
Well, not to mention ripping the studio apart to accommodate two people.
Right. Yeah,
that's right.
Too.
We did a lot of physical. There was a lot of physical work involved in the studio building itself.
That's right too.
A lot of late nights that, you know, get blamed for.
Well, you'll get over
That's never going to change. It doesn't matter how much good you do. It just doesn't. It's not going to change.
Yay!
But, you know, and I think what was fun about that is I think there was a time that we did catch on, you know, in Cornwall, in Messina, and in the North Country.
I should have not put so many buttons in there. It's.
What do you mean not put so many buttons in there?
Just a joke. I'm injecting a little humor.
It's not working. Anyways,
he's good at discovering good humor. Maybe not.
That's right. Not maybe making it. Yeah.
I'm funny.
As a husband and wife, we sit there and he'll say something and he'll go, "I'm funny." No, just no.
Sometimes,
and I know Jen does that to you.
Sometimes, as a husband, as long as we believe we're funny, that's good enough.
That's all that really matters. Yes.
Oh,
see,
there.
Hey,
there's
Jen.
the baby.
Oh, look at the baby. I feel like there's two guys on. They're like chained together in that movie.
Yeah, the two guys chained together for 25 years almost.
That's pretty miraculous.
It is that we haven't killed each other.
So in that sense, that's why Mike is our guest today, because give him a lot of credit for that.
Well, it's been a good show. Thanks for having me. We'll see.
So the first thing I want to talk about, and if you don't want to, Mike, just to highlight, one of the things that I saw you mention is that you're doing some type of an audition for movies or something.
Yeah, I did. I got an audition today for The Blacklist, and it's through an agency in New York City. They really want people that are local to New York, and obviously I'm not. I really don't feel like driving down there for 8 hours to wait in a line.
Oh, they want you local to New York City.
Yeah, they really want you local to New York City. But I mean, it was kind of cool. And of course, they try and keep you by saying, well, we could market you for other things. And, you know, I guess they
make you sign a contract where they take all the money if they do. And
right. Yeah.
So, you know, and then, you know, it's New York City. I mean, that's like ground zero for COVID. So, you know, Pretty good. I think I'll just stay healthy.
Okay, I'll pass.
Yeah, right.
But I think it's interesting that you can, I don't think a lot of people understand that you can try for that stuff. It's out there.
Sure you can. Yeah, sure you can.
Well, think of our friend Mark Isaacs. I mean, he's made a real career, and he's from up here.
I guess he's just starting to shoot the Marshall Dead stuff. So I think hopefully we can get him on to talk about that in the next couple of shows.
Oh, that'd be great.
That'd be
in fact, Mark and I were chatting about co-writing a song that I just started writing.
Oh.
And so I sent him the initial lyrics and I sent him a demo of it, and he's kind of bouncing around some ideas. I ended up that day I sent it, I actually wrote the second verse and sent it off to him, said, hey, I come up with this, it's not quite what we were thinking, but. So anyway, and I mentioned your show to him, and I said, you probably call, and they'll probably be calling you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to want to have Mark on. He was one of our great guests during the first brew, and now that we're in our second cup, we'll have to have him by and, chat about his projects. He's really done a lot with the Actors Guild and everything. He's very involved in that, and he's down in Texas right now.
Yeah,
and he's gone, to California and Texas and all over. So
a
little bit more mobile than us.
Yeah.
So they're pitching that, Marshall Dead. I believe they're pitching that fairly soon. So I played him a piece that I thought would fit for the period, and he kind of liked it. It's something I'd written, but I have no lyrics to.
Awesome, though.
He liked it, so I told him I'd lay it down completely and send it to him, which is cool.
So let me ask you this: when you write stuff like that, when you list yourself as the artist, do you list yourself as Margarita Mike, or do you just go as Michael Guimond?
It's funny you mentioned that. I think the Margarita Mike thing is great when you're playing local, bars around here and things like that. But I think on a larger scale, that's not, what I want to be known as. And I really don't have an answer.
Oh. Yeah, so you might have a pen name yet still.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, the Diamond thing comes to mind, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Diamond.
Yeah, because that's pretty appropriate with your name and stuff. That's cool though. So you are creating a pen name. I mean, I hope it turns out that could be quite a situation, even at our age. And I say that very loosely because it's not like we're older, but it's not often that guys closer to our age get involved in new stuff and get an opportunity. So it's kind of neat that you can seize the moment for that.
It's funny you say guys our age. I was watching a interview with Ricky Gervais today. Did you know that he didn't really hit his fame until he was 40?
Okay, but that was still 10 years ago for us.
Right. I'm just saying.
We have a chance.
I'm saying I have a shot. You guys are over. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just saying that, I know when I was growing up, I had always thought, I'm going to move to Hollywood and be an actress and blah, 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 blah. And you years ago were under the idea that only the young, pretty girls and only the young, cute guys could make it in Hollywood. And now you're seeing a lot of actors and actresses are getting their big break in their 40s and 50s. So it's really not too late for anyone.
Well, I think real people is the way it is, kind of like why people listen to us and watch the Breakfast Brew, because we're real people. Right. And that's more intriguing to find out you have something in common with somebody than watching people that are, off elite, like if they did the movie version of us and put fancy, well-proportioned, good-looking people in there, we'd be like, well, that's
what do you mean by that, Matt?
They wouldn't know who they were.
Better
portraying.
Proportion than us. I don't know. Something, I mean, Mike, who would you have play you in a movie? If they made a movie about our ridiculous lives, who would you have play you?
John Wayne.
He's dead.
I know.
Somebody alive.
Somebody now. Who would you have? That's a really good question. That's a really good question. Ooh. Should we all be thinking of this?
Ricky Gervais.
Would you?
Yep.
Would you ever get Gervais? Could he do the goatee like you got, you think, and do the hair?
Yeah, he's done a goatee before, yeah.
Okay, what about you, Ange?
I don't know. That's a really interesting question. I think Jennifer Garner, although she's much prettier and skinnier than me, but still, yeah, don't make that face, jerk.
I vote Jennifer Garner.
Yeah, well, only you vote Jennifer Garner for me if you get to play you.
Anyway.
Somebody's got to keep her company.
All right, easy. So what about you, Matthew?
I still hold true, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not quite as big, and I think he has a little bit better hair, but I still say Alec Baldwin.
He's great.
You know, I just think that he would
really
be able
like him.
to do my personality to a T. I wouldn't like it because it's I understand my personality is probably a bit more volatile than I've ever saw myself.
Yeah.
But I think he's so that
Yeah.
you know, I would go with that.
Yeah. Hey,
Taller
see,
than I
we
am,
got the
obviously.
cast.
I'm just a little short, fat guy, but
We have the cast. All we need is for Hollywood to come knocking.
yeah. Well, guess we better not hold our breath for that one.
Hold their breath. That one. That's right.
So that.
Oh Lord.
All right. So did you have a subject? Because I have another subject.
Mike does, yes.
Oh, okay, Mike. What do you got as the guest?
I put together a dream catcher group, and because I started having these, and I realized I was having crazy vivid dreams at night, and just it was like a different adventure every night. I mean, I didn't know what was going to happen, and the minute I fell asleep, I mean, it was vivid dream all night long. And after like a few weeks of that, I'm like, what is going on here? I mean, I've never had this before. And so I looked it up, and sure enough, a lot of people have been reporting that. And the Google search for why am I having weird, vivid dreams quadrupled on Google. I found that out. So I found a ton of websites on the subject. And I was really curious if people were having the same thing. So I put the group together, and I think we got about 200 people on there now.
I'm in it.
And everybody's, a lot of people are just talking about their dreams and what they have. So I went and bought and I'll show you, I don't know if it'll show up. It's called the Dream Interpretation. Got a glare.
There
the
it
Dream
is.
Interpretation Dictionary. So there's over 1,000 pages. And if you look at the table of contents, it goes from A to Z on the different kinds of dreams.
Oh, all
you
the
can
different,
have.
yeah, all the
And
different
and it explains why you might have a dream like that. So let's test it out. Give me a dream that you've had that a subject.
I dreamt, and this is interesting you mention it because I didn't think it was necessarily due to the COVID, but it was very vivid to me, and it was right after you created, or right before you created the group, so I thought it was weird that your group popped up after this happened. I dreamed I was in a house with some other people. It wasn't my family, just some other people, and there were people outside that were unhappy with us, and they were trying to get in, and I don't
It sounds like Corb's next door.
No, he's here in my kitchen right now, so no, that's not it.
Hey, buddy. You sure it was a dream?
So here's my concern is I thought by keeping them outside we were going to be safe, but at one point they made it inside. And once they
break-in.
Basically they came through the door, broke through the door, came into the kitchen area. I sent the rest of the people to go, further back in the house or whatever. I was afraid for them to go out the back door because I thought there was other people out there. And the person came in, and there was no violence. We were pushing and shoving a little bit because I didn't want them to get past me. And then I woke up and it was over.
So there wasn't a physical altercation, like real physical?
No, just kind of pushing and shoving. Nothing really crazy.
To keep him out of the... And was it a man or a woman you were trying to keep out of the...
Two men.
Two men.
Two large
really?
men.
Wow, you took on two men.
Yeah, two large men, one with a goatee, and it wasn't Mike.
Okay, ready?
The closest, anything else you want to say about it?
No, it was a strange house.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what house it was. I don't even have a recollection. And I know my dreams are a clean out of what my brain has seen, but it may have been a house I conjured up in my head because it wasn't any house that I can recall being in.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even recognize the lady and the children that were in the house.
Oh.
See, it used to be, I thought that dreams were kind of like, you're defragging your...
Well, that's what I think.
Fragments of
so I'm incorrect.
Thoughts in your head. And I don't know that it's that. And in fact, you're having a dream about a place you've never been, a house you've never been, and people you've never met. I mean, to me, it's so intriguing because you don't, all I can find is invasion on here. So I'll read you what it says. Okay.
Okay.
An invasion in a dream can symbolize something that invades your thoughts or breaks your routine. It can be anything you would describe as invasive. For example, you're trying to study or get some work done, or your phone rings constantly. Maybe kids interrupt you. Or you come home to find that someone's been poking around on your computer. It's an invasion of privacy. Also, I could see intruder, I guess. So an invasion implies a heavy struggle that comes on suddenly, though it might be expected. For example, you know that a major push is coming to get a project done at work. Dream about preparing for an invasion in the eyes of retail workers, Black Friday, for example. Or it could be an invasion more literally, viruses and germs. I mean, ding, ding, ding.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
and this
That's
is in
pretty
a book
interesting.
that didn't just come out, you know.
Yeah,
so,
that's very interesting.
yeah.
Okay, so analyze one of your dreams that you had, or look it up.
I'd rather do you guys.
Okay.
So
So like we can, and it's funny. You said you were talking to Julie? Is she still there?
No, she's out. They're all out in the kitchen.
Oh, okay. Because one of Mike's friends posted something about school, and I had posted a recurring dream that I had had for years and years and years, and then Julie jumped on and said she had had the same one.
Oh.
So my dream is, so I'm in college, and it's at SUNY Potsdam, and I'm, I just realized that I have to go to class. I don't know how to get to that class. I'm standing in the middle of campus, in the middle of a building, and I'm completely lost, and I don't know how to get where I'm going. And at that moment in time, I realized I hadn't been going to classes. I didn't know who my professors were, like nothing. And so, a friend of Mike's had posted something, and then I posted that, and then Julie said she had had the same reoccurring dream. So why don't you...
Recurring dreams are, they're pretty common, and similar dreams are actually pretty common. And I was just flabbergasted when I realized that people dream about the same thing. It's just, it's bizarre to me. But
right.
So college, being back in college is a frequent dream theme for people who have already graduated, but you don't have to have attended college to dream about it. The symbolism is often related to learning. You feel challenged by something or recognize a gap in your knowledge that needs to be filled.
Yeah, see?
That probably is you to a T.
Yeah, it really is.
You're learning something new and feel challenged intellectually. Consider what you learn or need to learn about yourself and life. Life is a continual process of adjustment and assimilation. You take in new information, have new experiences, and decide how things fit into the big picture of who you are. A college setting is a natural place in a dream to tell stories about what you're learning about yourself and your life. But I've had that dream where I have a schedule, class schedule, and you're trying to get there and you don't know where anything is. And it's just, I think it's a frustration.
Well, I'll tell you something. And Julie found this interesting too, is I had this dream recurring up until 2 years ago when I took our oldest daughter. She attended SUNY Potsdam for a little bit. I took her there for a college visit. And when we're putting him to sleep, look at him.
No.
Can you see?
I'm looking. No, I'm good.
Oh, you look like your eyes are dozing.
No, I'm sorry. I don't want to look like that. I'm trying to be quiet and let you speak. I didn't want to interrupt. I'm sorry.
Okay. So I took her, we went to Potsdam State for a college tour and ended up within the tour being right in that same exact spot that my dreams recurred at.
Wow.
And after that moment, I never had that dream again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Go
ahead. I'm sorry.
Dreaming that you can't find the classroom where you belong can indicate that you don't know where to get the knowledge, experience, or information you need to meet a challenge. Think beyond professional or work challenges to consider life challenges, personal challenges, social relationship challenges. So you're searching.
And I find that interesting in my case because unlike your book, I never finished college, and I've tried twice now, and I've never
you think
finished
I'm going to finish
college.
this? I'm not going to.
Well, I know. But I'm just saying that I think it's related to that. I think it's related to the fact that I've tried numerous times to get a degree and I'm not smart enough.
I have another dream. I don't have it anymore, but I had a dream for quite a while. Yeah, it's probably years ago. Okay. But people that know me know I'm a car freak. I love cars. I love driving cars and trucks, and I love driving things, right? The vehicles I love driving.
Right.
I would dream about driving vehicles and they'd be right in front of me, and I'd get in it, and then by the time it would start moving, it would disappear, and I'd be sitting on a rock, and it would still be rolling along, which is weird anyways, but it would become undrivable. Whatever it is I was trying to drive would become undrivable. And I don't know if you can help, Mike, but what I always saw was because I hadn't actually experienced driving the vehicles that I was trying to drive in my dreams, there's no way I could dream about driving it because I never drove it.
Right.
Yeah, and I've thought about that too. I think we've talked about that in the past. We can't hurt ourselves when we fall down in a dream, right? Because we've never fallen from 400 feet and then survived, you know,
right.
So the experience isn't in our head.
Right.
But that could be, you wanted a certain type of car, you wanted your car to be something, and you couldn't quite get it there, and it's a frustration that you couldn't get it there, and maybe that's something stuck in your head.
And I don't dream it anymore because I don't worry about it anymore.
Yeah,
right.
I'm saying at the time, I mean,
certainly at the
you
time.
wanted your Mustang black, so we were trying to paint it black, you know?
Right.
We never quite finished it.
Or make it faster, or do wanted a faster car,
modify
or
it,
something else.
Yeah.
Where now we have that kind of, it's not that big a deal anymore because I have more stuff like that. So,
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you guys a question. Have you ever had a lucid dream?
What is that?
A lucid dream is where you know you're dreaming and you can control what happens.
Yes.
Have you?
Sure. And I try to convince.
Or is it dirty?
What's it? No.
I'm out.
No. Here's my take on a lucid dream. You can tell me I'm wrong, but there's been times that I've been dreaming, and I kind of go, "Oh, what am I worried about? I'm dreaming."
Really?
Because I get worried about stuff, right? My anxiety.
Right.
And then I'd be dreaming about something. I'd be like, wait, this is dream time. I'm sleeping right now. I don't need to worry about this right now.
So you really are cognizant of the fact that
tried to stop myself from being so stressed out over something that I knew I wasn't really a part of, and like being late. We talk about the being late thing. And I would wake up and think, or I'd be in the dream, be like, oh, I'm late for work. I got to get to work. Oh my gosh, it's 9 o'clock. Oh my gosh, it's 10 o'clock. I'm 2 hours late. Wait a minute. I'm in a dream. I'm not late for work. It doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah.
And then I just kind of relaxed and it didn't bother me anymore. So is that lucid dreaming? I mean, that's
it's kind of, but all you've learned to do is shut it down. Learn that you are dreaming and you can shut it down.
Right.
Shut down whatever's going on. Like I dreamed the other night that all my performance guitars were stolen from someone on the res.
Did you know the
person?
I
didn't want to. No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I just know where it was.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to put that on Facebook. But at any rate,
so now you just put it on YouTube for the world to watch.
Really concerned. Like it was very real to me. Where the hell am I going to get that kind of money to replace that? But I wish I would have realized during the dream, hey, this is a dream. This is just not. Don't get so worked up.
So did you wake up in a panic?
A little bit. And
yeah.
I've woken up before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's times that I have. There's times that I haven't been able to control it. And then I wake up and I'm like, oh, it really was a dream.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, I'll try and convince myself while I'm dreaming that I'm dreaming and it's fine. And I think I know I've read some stuff on it, maybe not quite as in depth as you have, Mike, but the thing about dreaming is it's still to your body. Some of it still really is real. Yeah. Some of your, one of the things they were saying is, the people that you try to yell in your dream, but you can't really yell in your dream. That's because your muscles are so relaxed that you really can't yell. Or
your brain puts out a chemical that keeps your muscles from reacting to your dreams.
Right.
Your brain has to dream or you're not going to survive.
So you're trying to run, but your body's saying, no, you can't, because it's telling it can't run. And then that's why you can't run in your dream. And so you just have to, in my case, I'd be like, okay, I get it. I'm in a dream. I can't run. I guess I'm just going to have to relax and,
Well, as you know, things that are complex, like a human body or a machine that's really complex.
Yes.
Something always breaks down somewhere. So you have people that sleepwalk, you have other brain related issues, nothing is perfect. So the brain makes you, some people, act out at night. Wasn't it your brother, Bobby, that, or somebody woke up, his spouse was trying to choke him? No, it was Christopher.
It was Christopher. My brother Christopher woke up and his girlfriend at the time was
really
choking
trying
him.
to choke him. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And maybe she wasn't dreaming, I mean, in retrospect,
Have you met him?
Well, I watched Ann. She was smiling the other night in her sleep, and I thought, I wonder what way she killed me this time.
No,
Oh, jeez.
no, it was Clooney.
Oh, it's Clooney.
But it's so
That's
it
right,
is.
because it lasted about 60 seconds.
I think that's an amazing a point that you make there is the brain, the human brain and the body and the way everything works together is so,
It's
and
very
of course,
complex.
part of the human condition is trying to figure that out, which
Right.
we can't really figure it out because we're not designed to figure ourselves out. It's like a computer trying to figure itself out. It was created by, so it's a very fascinating conundrum.
If you look up sleep deprivation studies, there's a lot of studies that show what happens to you when you don't get enough sleep.
I can tell you.
Well, you probably
I
should.
think we all can.
Burn the candle at both ends.
I think we all can. We all
Yeah.
have lots of kids, so we can all tell you what it's like.
But I guess to sum it all up for me, and I don't want to take your whole show up with it, but the fact that so many people in the world, because this is a worldwide thing, and we have the ability to communicate on a global basis with the internet, and that COVID is a global thing, we now can experience and share our experiences of what's going on. And a lot of people are experiencing this really vivid dreams. It's very interesting.
Well,
and I know that PTSD and things like that will can trigger that.
Right.
But, we're pretty calm. We're not that stressed. I mean, yes, the world kind of came to a pause, but it's not gloom and doom. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
We're not that stressed.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I say myself. I mean, we're
well, but I think that's a very interesting, right? That's a very interesting part of this whole situation. You don't want to minimize it by saying maybe this is good for us all to slow down and get things in order. Ange, we've talked about this on the show already.
Right. Yeah.
The family time, the time at home that you've never had because you're just not out working as much because you can't. Those weekends when you would be like, oh, let's go off shopping and spend a day spending money on stuff you don't need and just being out. Where now you stay home and you're doing some stuff together at home. Maybe this is in some ways an opportunity to hit the reset button a little bit and kind of get life in order the way you like it, because we do get caught on the treadmill and we think the faster we run, the better off we are. And sometimes slower is faster.
Yeah.
You got to slow down. Sometimes you got to slow down to really catch up to where you need to be.
Right.
Because sometimes you just go too fast and go right on by.
I agree.
Some people are saying, well, you're home more, you're sleeping more, maybe you're not getting up because you're working from home, but okay, let's just say that you're sleeping more, you're dreaming more. Why is that causing vivid dreams?
Right. There's,
along the whole globe, I don't understand it.
See, to me, I think it's very much a control thing. We have no control over what's happening. We have no idea what's coming next. We really, you can't tell.
right.
Mike and I are sitting here hanging on, and I know we've talked about it before. We talked about it with Bob. We're hanging on to see what's going to happen with our Disney trip. Are we going? Are we not going? Are we going to want to go? And it's that uncertainty of what's going to happen next. And I think that's kind of throwing our subconscious into a panic. And that's what's making us all have these kind of crazy dreams.
Every change from your routine that you experience is pretty much going to affect you, whether you realize it or not. It's more enhanced with some people, as we know, people that suffer from Asperger's and certain autisms. It affects them at a very high level.
Right.
And now what's happening is everybody else at these lower levels is getting kind of a taste of that in its own way.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you have to be cognizant of that to go, oh boy, I guess I really am out of whack a little bit. And this is, as much as I want to pretend I get up and I go to work every day because we're still working.
Right.
Oh, it doesn't affect me, but it is affecting us.
It does. It does.
It really is.
It does.
It
does, because even if it's not affecting our day to day, which even you said, it really is still affecting your day to day.
Absolutely.
Because you're not running around, like a crazy man after work.
Right.
It's affecting the people around us. Like Mike, for a long time, couldn't go out and work. I mean, he could make phone calls from home, which is fine, but it's not going and visiting your clients and talking to new people and whatnot. For him, that's different. So that's his difference in his life. affects me. The kids are home all day long. They're doing schoolwork from home. You know, they're here all the time. So their antsiness and their, you know, boredom when their work is done and whatnot, that affects me because we all live together, obviously. Right. So we don't think it affects us as quote unquote essential employees, but it really does.
No, I think it really does. All right. Now, I don't want to wrap us up too soon, but my meeting thing is saying we're running out of time to record unless I upgrade. So
I was wondering why that little thing was up there that said you better shut up. No.
Yeah, well, that's
we got a good 7 minutes. What else can we talk about?
You got the timer too.
Thanks for having me, guys. Yeah. I'm gonna give up the other earphone to Ange. And
all right. Well, Mike, it was great to have you.
I guess is that you want me to stay or what?
Well, yeah, you always stay till the end. Yeah, you stay right to the end. You don't have to go. You can be a part of this. So the other thing, very quickly, my other thing was something that I can't have anymore and I don't have anymore: chocolate bars. Sometimes there's those chocolate bars out there that we just don't have anymore.
Yes.
And I found, like, when we were going over to Cornwall to do shows and anytime we go over, you know, for a hockey game or whatever it is there some chocolate bars that remain in Canada that we don't have here and vice versa. You know, for me, because I wanted to start this and it kind of hit me in the head, I used to love the Marathon bar. He was all twisted and chocolatey and caramely and everything. And you can't get those here. I haven't seen them around here anyways, but I've seen them, you know, in Canada. Yeah. So the Marathon bar was one as a kid. I used to love those because they were extra long and they were chewy and they were bigger than most. So who wouldn't love that?
Right. Oh, yeah. You got more bang for your buck, for God's sakes. Yeah. Nice. So when we take it back to Disney one more time, we were in Disney last time. We were in the England Pavilion and went into one of the shops, and there was Mars bars.
Mars bars? Yep. Oh, yes.
And I love Mars bars, and I remember Mike's dad loved Mars bars.
Yeah, so in Canada.
Do they have them in Canada? Oh, well, for God's sake.
Toblerone.
That's what yours is, Toblerone. They don't have those here.
They might have had it. They might have started to get them across.
There's some. Choco Light was another one too.
Wow.
Choco Light with the airy chocolate, you know.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And I can't have any of it. You know.
Well, I know. Well, that's what stinks, isn't it? Though. I mean, you're doing it because of your diabetes, and I'm doing it because I'm trying to behave. But...
And I'll be honest, I've kind of convinced myself that if I think about the taste and I kind of dream about it a little bit, it's good enough. It's like really having it without having all the calories.
That's bull.
It doesn't work for steak, but it certainly does for chocolate bars.
Well, steak's not bad.
No, it's not, and I love it. I just can't dream about it. I have to eat it. It's just
it's one of those things.
Yeah, I gotta have that.
That you have to have.
And coffee. I gotta have coffee.
Stop with Jennifer Garner.
I'm good. I'm good now. That's all I needed.
Well, you know, if we're gonna go back on the topic of dreams, let's go back about a dream that I have repeatedly, and I actually would be interested for our listeners to chime in on this on our Facebook page. I repeatedly have had dreams of my boyfriend, George Clooney. George Clooney every time would like to do things to me that I have imagined for him to do for years.
It was that TV ad for that bank in Europe that got you over on that.
We're going to put that one up.
I don't think you're George Clooney's type.
Just listen. I don't. Yes, I know what you think. But anyways, so when we get to that point where, you know, he's, yes, I want this. Let's go. Do you know what happens, Matthew?
You choke.
Do you know? No, I don't. I say, I'm sorry.
He runs? I don't know.
Shut up. I say, I'm sorry. Put it back in your ear so you can hear me say this in stereo. I say, I'm sorry. I can't. I'm married.
And very much in love.
In my dreams. Where George Clooney, he's going to look it up. Why can't Ange do what she wants to do with George Clooney? I just think that's the most frustrating dream ever. And it's not just George Clooney. It's like all the guy from my soap opera that I used to have a thing for. He tried it. Nope. David Schwimmer from Friends. He tried it. Nope. Who else? All these. Michael Bublé.
And in the end, you got all that and more right there next to you.
Whatever, buddy. No. Here's what I find funny about this, though. I'm touching you. Here's what I find funny about this is I will have a dream like that, And he'll wake up the same morning, and I won't say anything. He'll wake up the same morning and go, I had a dream that I did it with somebody else. And I'm like, wait a minute. Just hold
I
your
never said
horse, and
that.
you did too.
You're on big drugs.
That's beside the point.
Well, I can't paint anything about George Clooney. So.
Nothing in his book about George Clooney.
Probably one whole book just about George Clooney dreams
See?
somewhere.
That's right. I'm the author.
Wow, this show derailed quickly.
Keep on dreaming.
This is what people like about us.
It happens often to us. It's not
Yes.
just now.
It's not just me either.
All right, so we're getting down to the end here.
Yes, we have 2 minutes to go.
Right. I feel like we're counting down to New Year's. So,
Yes.
so Mike, of course, the big thing is having you on because really, the opportunity we had was an opportunity that we couldn't have had any other way. We would have never had any other way.
That's
There's
right.
never been another morning team like what we had here in this market, in this small market area. So that's pretty exciting, and it was a great opportunity. That was awesome.
We owe it to you.
Well, thanks. I mean, I owe it to you guys because you made it happen. We all collectively kind of,
And
planned
we're
the
still
show.
doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still doing it.
And
That's right.
but
Yeah.
I think we brought a big city live, male female morning show with interviews and
Yes.
things to
Yeah,
the
we
North
really
Country,
did.
and
Yeah.
kudos.
And we did creative things, creative and different things, which was fun. Look,
Yeah,
I got
we really
goosebumps
did.
that we're talking about it.
I know.
That's pretty cool.
I know. And it's great that we're doing it again. I really enjoy this. I look forward to it once a week to be able to sit down with you again and be able to bring people into the show that were with us originally. I think this is great. And like I said, if you and I are the only ones that listen, I'm happy.
And a couple of our family members,
A
and
couple of our family members. In
because
fact,
I've got some of my aunts and uncles that have been kind of watching now, and
Do you?
absolutely,
So
I share it with them. They say they watch.
to check the counter. So I just want to tell you one more thing before we go. I got some notes about a couple shows from our oldest daughter, so I will have to share those next time.
All right. I may have to upgrade this so we can even do it next time.
That's right.
And I'll give you guys a link for Dreamcatcher Project, or you can
Oh,
search
that's
it.
a great
Put
idea.
it up on
Yes,
your page.
we will
Okay.
share that because
All right,
I have
guys.
it too, and I could do it. But you can send it up there either way and join that. All right, we're out.
Bye.
Have a great one.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you in the next show.
Thanks for joining us. Please like our page on Facebook. The Breakfast Brew, Your Second Cup, is a Brew Crew production.